So Jon Jones was back in court today having to answer to his two misdemeanor charges from July of 2023 related to the USADA agents that he had some issues with when they came over, to say the least. So we're going to go over Jon Jones' criminal history and why it is ridiculous, the penalty, what he's going to have to pay for doing this. And when you hear it, they make it sound like it's no big deal, and they give him nothing for it. They give him an absolute slap on the wrist. But let's take a look at his criminal history and why maybe this guy doesn't deserve just a slap on the wrist. Oh, is it because he has a fight coming up in a couple weeks? Is that it? Fucking bullshit, bro. What is it? Rules for thee? So all right, so let's take it back to 2012. Okay, Jon Jones involved in an incident where he drove his car into a telephone pole in Binghamton, New York. At the time, Jones was arrested for driving under the influence. Later, pled guilty to the DUI. He was not sentenced to any jail time and instead had to pay a fine, and his license was suspended for 6 months. So, license suspended for 6 months for DUI is standard. Not any jail time, even though you crashed your car. Who knows if it was a hit and run? Maybe not. It doesn't say that, but at least DUI and crashed his car. So. Not good. 2 years later, August of 2014, in the lead up to UFC 178, Jones and DC got involved in an altercation. That's kind of just nothing. But he got punished by NSAC, fined $50,000, and sentenced. Get this, he got sentenced for that for 40 hours of community service. Keep that in mind when we go over his recent sentence just today. January 2015, Jones was scheduled at UFC 182. Prior, he tested positive for, he popped, you know what I mean, the whole thing back then. Metabolite of cocaine. So he popped for cocaine. I can't even say that, kind of. Popped for the stuff. I probably had to bleep that out. Anyway, popped for that. Obviously, we all know that. April 2015, Jones, fresh off a win at UFC 178 over Cormier, seemed to be riding high when he found himself illegal trouble again. Arrested in New Mexico after leaving the scene of a hit and run. This is the one where he hit the pregnant woman and then left, only coming back and fleeing the scene to come back and grab a pipe that was in the vehicle. So fled the scene and having a pipe. Oh, and in the vehicle, yeah. Hit and run of a pregnant woman. That's really great. So that's almost 10 years ago now, and he continues to have a criminal history all the way up until July of 2023. So we're not going to go too in depth because a lot of you guys know this. Also in 2015 or whatever, as a result of the felony charge, Jones was stripped of his heavyweight of his UFC belt. He was absent from competition for 1 year. Jones was charged with battery after an incident that allegedly occurred in April of 2019. The incident occurred when a cocktail waitress claimed Jones slapped her, put her in a chokehold, and kissed her neck and touched her after she asked him to stop. This dude's on a roll. You know what I mean? This seems like a really upstanding member of society, right? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Let's go forward a couple years. July 2019, Jones was charged with battery following claims from a waitress that Jones hit her and assaulted her. Jones pleaded no contest to the charge and was placed on 90 days probation. Another slap on the wrist. Let's do nothing again. That's good. Let's not talk about the times that he DV'd his wife too. March 2020, just a little bit later, next year, Jones, and this is a couple years ago, guys. You know what I mean? Jones was arrested after a police officer heard gunshots and went to investigate. Found Jones in his Jeep intoxicated. When he failed a sobriety test as well, police found a gun, partially empty bottle of whatever. Jones was charged with aggravated DWI, negligent use of a firearm, possession of an open container, driving with no proof of insurance. Bro doesn't even have insurance. He's making millions of dollars. Absolute delinquent. And he pleaded guilty, was sentenced to 4 days of a house arrest. Ooh, he has to stay at home for 4. Ooh, another slap on the wrist. So when the justice system continues to not do its job and let people like this continue to act out and get away with it, I wonder what he's going to continue to do. So next year, we're on a roll now. We got 2019, 2020, 2021. Just hours after being inducted in the UFC Hall of Fame, we all know this one. Jones was arrested after police responded to a DV incident. That means his wife. That means a little too happy celebration physical with the wife. Okay, okay. And get this, according to a police report, Jones' daughter requested the police to be called after her mother was locked out of the hotel room following an incident with Jones. While Jones was being questioned, he headbutted a police car. We all remember that clip. Resisted questioning, threatened officers, and was eventually arrested. John's longtime coach asked Jon to leave the gym after this incident. That's where you draw the line, little bro. Not after the hit and run on the pregnant woman. That one we'll let slide, but this one's too far now. You know what I mean? just after he gets inducted in the Hall of Fame. So does it seem like he's got it under control, or does it seem like maybe this guy's crazy and over the course of his life has continued to act out as a crazy person and has had nothing happen to him? Moving on. Again, we're on a roll here. We have four. He's on a kill streak here, man. 2019, 2020, 2021, 22, and 23, bro. This guy does not sleep, man. If he's not fighting, he's committing crime, bro, okay? December of 2022, the DV charge against Jones was dropped. I wonder why. Instead, he was charged and pled guilty to felony tampering with a police vehicle charge and paid a $750. So how do we go from DV to felony tampering with a police vehicle? What even is this? What is New Mexico? Do they even have judges there, or is it just some like fucking random dude just handing out sentences? Like, what are we doing? Anyway, right after the next year, just a couple months later, April 2023, April 5th, an article by ABQ Raw News reported that UFC heavyweight champion Jones was involved in an incident with someone looking to collect a sample from his UFC anti-doping program. So this is where we come to now. And that April incident was also the July incident. It says here he was charged with 2 misdemeanors stemming from the April incident, including, I think it says here, he got charged with, that's right, he got charged with assault and interference with communication. So that means and we'll see that here. He took the testing woman's phone, and I don't know if he broke it, but he took it away from her and was taking videos. Let's go over this. So right after this happened, Jones came out with a statement. I want to address reports about me allegedly threatening a drug tester's life and taking a phone. I want to clarify there's a video showing both drug testers leaving my home, yada, yada, yada. So he pretty much says they left my home and looked fine, so that means nothing happened. And we exchanged a high five and a hug. Yeah, because they're scared of you, bro. They're afraid you're gonna cut them up and put them in pieces in your basement or feed them to your dogs. Although I was frustrated with the unprofessionalism and used profanity, unprofessionalism, doing their job and collecting a drug sample. Sorry, there wasn't a ring for you to hide under this time, bro. My bad. What a bitch, bro. And used profanity out of frustration. It ended friendly and amicably because they were scared for their life. Nothing threatening at all there, bro. Nothing threatening. Bet his wife would say that too. I was actually celebrating a friend's birthday party at my home, and I believe it's perfectly normal to celebrate in the comfort of my own home. Yeah, and when the random drug testers show up at your door that you signed up for when you're doing this line of work, you don't threaten them and take their shit and throw a fit because they want to drug test you because you're a known drug cheat your entire career, bro. Fuck. I believe. Anyway, I must say this particular tester behaved quite unprofessionally. Oh, I thought everything was friendly and amicable though, and even breached standard protocol along with HIPAA laws. That's cap, because you would have heard about that. Anyway, just complete lie. This guy's a fucking pathological liar, first of all. I should have added that, too. Throughout my 20 years of being subjected to drug tests, I've never encountered such an incident with a DCO officer before. Yeah, because they never caught you with your shirt off, all drunk, probably with your boyfriends. Anyway, so this is the video that they show after this, too, which is supposed to clear everything up. Like a blurry-ass video. Jesus Christ, man. That's not any better. Okay, so here they go. They're putting stuff in his trash. I imagine that's the drug test. And this is the woman's phone that he took. That's the lady. Barely, she's like, just don't kill me. And then this guy, a little fist bump, barely touches him. He's walking a little funny. The pants are sagging. The shirt's off. He said he was intoxicated. And that right there, folks, is what Jon Jones uses as evidence of why he's not a bad person and didn't do anything wrong. So here's the statement after the fact. Upon arrival, I contacted Crystal, who was that woman in the video there, stated she worked for the Drug Free Sport International. So sorry, it wasn't USADA. It was after they switched over to Drug Free Sport International. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. For professional athletes, Crystal stated she had a coworker identified as Jerome arrive at Jones' residence, yada, yada, yada. Male answered the door, directed them to the garage. Crystal stated that she contacted Jones to inform him that they were there to conduct a drug test, showed her credentials. Crystal told me she laid her equipment on the table, including her phone, and then Crystal informed me that Jones wanted to do a urine test in the garage. It's weird. You've probably multiple bathrooms in that house, but I guess freaks do what freaks are going to do. Crystal stated she waited a few minutes and went back. She did not hear anything, and they were gone. Crystal said that Jerome and Jones came through a door, that Jerome appeared nervous and said Jones couldn't pee. So Jones took this guy Jerome out back and was like, yo, bro, I ain't doing it. Crystal explained to me she offered to do a blood test instead. Oh, that's a good compromise, right? If you can't take a piss, right? If you're not pissing dirty, right? It shouldn't be an issue. And stated Jones appeared agitated by him being tense and puffed up and looking bugged. What is bugged? You mean drunk and probably high too? Crystal stated that Jones was asking them questions if they had money because he was going to sue them for doing their jobs. Believe that, huh? Crystal stated that Jones picked up her phone and started recording them, saying he was going to sue them, which she has a video of. It should be noted that at this time, Jones had no shirt on, and his size compared to Crystal, he's practically he's just an absolute mammoth compared to this small woman that's just there to do her fucking job. Okay, so that here's the next part of it. I looked at the video and it appeared Jones stated something to the effect of, "Here effing Jerome and his girlfriend in my garage," and the video cut off. Crystal stated after that Jones made statements about suing them, put her phone in his pocket. So that's where you get the communication charge, the interference with communications. Because at this point he has her phone and she can't call police or her bosses or anybody. You know what I mean? So Crystal told me she asked for her phone back and he refused and got into her face saying, why the fuck people come here so early?" He said, "Why do they come here so early?" But yet this states that they were there at 1600 hours, which that's 4 p.m. for those of you that don't know military time. So they come at 4 p.m. and that's too early for him, even though he said he was up partying about somebody's birthday. Again, just pathological liar, drug cheat, drug abuser, whatever. Crystal explained she wanted to terminate the test right then and there, but she was afraid Jones might hit her since the UFC fines athletes if the test is not taken. So even in her statement after the fact, she's like, "Yeah, dude, this guy's gonna fucking DV me right now. I know what he does to his wife. What's he gonna do to me?" That's a warranted reaction. Like, I know what he does to his wife and random people on the street. What's he gonna do to me in his house? What am I gonna do about it? Oh, Crystal stated that she tried to signal Jerome discreetly for help or to see if he thought they should leave. Crystal said she wanted to call for help, but Jones had her phone. Oh my god, dude. I read this back then, but this just keeps getting worse. So she's trying to like signal to the other guy like, "Hey, let's get the fuck out. Let's get out of here. Let's go." And doesn't have her phone. They can't do anything about it, and she's literally afraid Jones is gonna fuck her day up. Crystal said she wanted to call for help, but Jones had her phone. Crystal told me uh, Crystal told me she told Jerome to tell his girl. Okay, that's a really terrible way to put that. But Crystal told me she told Jerome to tell his girlfriend, who was sitting in a car in the driveway, to leave because Jones seems upset the car was in his driveway and thought it might calm him down. So they pulled up with this guy's girlfriend. She stayed in the car and he's all freaking out, probably fucking looking out the windows like, "Who the fuck? Who's out there? Who is it?" And they told her to leave so that he was more at ease. Crystal clarified that Jerome could not call for help either since he had given his phone to his girlfriend either. So they were in there with no communication. That's where the interference with communication misdemeanor comes from. He also got charged with assault. You think that means he did nothing, that they're going to charge him with misdemeanor assault, but assault nonetheless? So when he says, "Oh, nothing happened and we left amicably," they were scared for their life, bro. What do you not understand about that? Are you that fucking dumb? So all of that happens. We got the entire criminal history of Jon Jones. We have all of this shit. We have statements for them of exactly what happened. Obviously, he should get the interference of communication charge, but where's the assault charge come from? They just don't talk about that. I guess we're not going to talk about that. Um, oh, maybe it's in this part. So, part 3. Crystal stated that Jones later agreed to take the urine test again, and he placed her phone back on the counter, so she grabbed it while her and Jerome went to the patio. So finally, they go back to somewhat normal, and he's taking the test. Crystal stated that when she texted her boss, only known as Pearson Blank, that Jones was threatening her and that she could not talk with him over the phone right now because Jones could come back at any moment. What? Because Jones could come. Oh. So she didn't want to talk on the phone, and she didn't want Jones to attack her if he saw her on the phone. So again, she's fearing for her life at this point. Crystal told me that Jerome and Jones had come back, and that Jerome looked pale and nervous. Probably doing some of that Jon Jones and Dana stuff. Hey, if Jon Jones locked in a room with anybody, I'm coming out oiled up. Okay, guys. Crystal stated that Jerome started the package and sealed the urine so they could get out. Bro, I bet they made that Jerome dude piss in the cup. I bet anything on it. I bet anything on it. That dude was definitely on some shit, and he made that dude piss. I would put anything on it, bro. Crystal later stated she believed Jones might have been drunk because she smelled the odor of an alcoholic beverage coming off him. Yeah, no shit. Crystal said once they left, she did an internal report for her boss, but also, yeah, whatever. So that's the story. So they came in there. He throws a hissy fit, takes her shit, doesn't take the test pretty much, and then goes and takes this test apparently. And the guy comes back looking like all scared and shit. I would bet anything that they made that guy take the test. So that looks like that's it as far as the story. Let's get to the repercussions or lack thereof, actually. So he ended up getting, and I don't know where it is in this article here, but he got 4 hours. 4 hours of community service. 4, he got 40 from NSAC for popping positive for steroids, but 4 for assaulting somebody and taking their phone so they can't call the cops or leave. And he's on it's not even on probation for 90 days. It says he had 4 hours of anger management courses. So he's gonna sit at a desk for 4 hours and do nothing. Maybe even do it online. I bet they'll even do that shit so he doesn't have to be seen doing it. And stays out of legal trouble for the next 90 days. I hope to God when he goes to New York, he fucking falls off the wagon again. This motherfucker needs to be locked up, bro. This is a danger to society. I don't give a fuck what kind of fighter he is. As far as I'm concerned, he's a fucking roid cheat through and through. I don't give a fuck. And the fact that all of this shit, it's not like none of this stuff is like murder, but DV on your wife, hit and run on a pregnant woman, cocaine, popping for steroids, assault, all of this stuff, and he gets 4 hours of community service. You cannot, not even community service, anger management courses, where he's probably going to have some dude do it for him on his computer and not even have to do it. What the fuck? What the fuck, man? If me or you or anybody else did this shit, we'd be locked up. There wouldn't be no 4 hours community service, anger management, and another slap on the wrist, and we'll see you next time. You know what I mean? And it just so happens that, and it's, of course, the court's laid out whatever date or whatever, but it just so happens it's all cleared up right before his big fight coming up and his likely retirement. It's all cleared up now. Just disgusting shit, bro. Just disgusting. Because if it was any other normal person, they would have been put in jail a long time ago. Sorry, that wasn't it. A long time ago for this shit, man. Nobody's going to jail this many times for this much shit and getting slaps on the wrist time after time after time, except for Jon Jones. And listen, if he doesn't fall off the wagon before the fight, I pray to God he has a second wind and he thinks, you know what, I'm gonna stay around fight Tom Aspinall, and I hope he fucking sleeps that bitch out cold and he fucking doesn't wake up for a couple days. I won't say never wake up, but I hope he fucking gets in a fucking coma, that bitch. That's it. That's it. Just pure rage at a lack of accountability for someone that deserves fucking accountability. That someone needs to have some fucking accountability for once in their life instead of just getting off over and over and over again and getting your poor behavior just. Oh yeah, you're good. A 90-day probation. You're good. Yeah, 90 days. That's what we did last time. That's what we did in 2019. 90-day probation. Same thing now. 5 years later, still doing the same shit. 4 hours of anger management. What the fuck? You see how angry I am? You think 4 hours of anger management gonna do fucking shit, bro? No. That's a professional fight. Let's give him 4 hours of anger management. Yeah, he's clearly not an angry alcoholic drug user. Closeted drug user too. I should have mentioned that earlier too. Maybe that's where a lot of this anger comes from too. Deeply closeted too. Should have mentioned that. And that shouldn't matter. None of this should have mattered. He shouldn't be a fucking piece of shit like this. An absolute piece of shit through and through. A terrible person that wants to play off like, oh, God. As soon as he wins the championship, oh, God first. God's sending you right downstairs, little bro. You're going right downstairs, bro. You ain't going nowhere the fuck else. Ain't no purgatory. No, you're going right the fuck down, bro. Right away, okay? That's it for me. I'll be back after the card or if anything else comes up. But I had to do a video on this. I generally wouldn't, but this is fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? Absolutely nothing happens. I hope more people actually have more of a reach talk about this shit. If you made this far in the video, I appreciate you listening to the rage. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe. I'll be back with more and calling out fucking bitches like this, dude. Just lifetime pieces of shit like this. Fuck Jon Jones.